Hey guys, and welcome to Performance Cars. So today I have a Civic Type R FD2. This is the 8th generation Civic and was only sold in a number of Asian countries. So this makes it quite special. This is obviously an import to the UK. So let's go take a look around. So the keen viewers out there can tell that this is one of my new purchases by the number plate. But this car was also available in blue and silver, but this one is finished in championship white. So this front bumper is different to the hybrid. It is more aerodynamic. The bonnet is quite short and it does remind me of the EP3 and FN2. And this is one of the first four-door Civic Type Rs. Even though it has the extra 2 doors, this is only 1.8 kilograms heavier than the DC5. So that's pretty exciting. And it also pushes out more power. But anyways, at the front we have 225/40 18 Yokohama AD08 tires. Brembo 4-part calipers with the Honda genuine discs. At the rear, same size, but Toyo R1R tires. So I'm not too sure why the previous owner chose this setup, but he has, and I will be changing this in the future. So on the rear we have that huge spoiler, a Toda exhaust, and the rear diffuser, which you can just about make out down there. So as I mentioned earlier, this is pretty special. It's only available as an import, never sold in the UK because we had the FN2, but this is the Japanese version to that. So let's go take a look inside to the engine bay and go for a test drive. So we also have genuine Honda wind deflectors. If I pop open the door, there is a red and black theme. So your usual mirror switches, window switches, some deep pockets here for storages, red carpets, the aluminium pedals, red and black Type R seats, which are very similar to the FN2 seats, except these bolsters are slightly higher. The finish on these seats are also slightly different. And the steering wheel itself is very similar to the FN2, if not the same. So here we have the engine start button with the immobilizer. Above that you have the select and reset button for the mileage, and to the right of that you can brighten or dim the gauges. So if we take a look at the gauges, this is a dual setup like the FN2, and if I just pop inside I'll show you guys the startup sequence. So the gauges are more or less blacked out at the moment, and if I stick the key in, the rev meter lights up and you get that distinctive beeping sound which tells you that the door is open. Turn it to accessory on and everything comes to life. You also get that VTEC indicator up there. That's pretty neat. And if we move to the center console, just a Pioneer double din screen with the climate control. But it's pretty basic, nothing really special in here. And next to the 12-volt socket, we have quite a few storages. So you have one up here, got one below that. You get the Type R badge, and this car is number 3003. A 6-speed gearbox, a very short handbrake, some more storages. This one does fit your phone. You get 2 drinks holders, which these ones can fold away. And you also get the armrest here, which you can adjust according to how you want it by pulling it forward or pushing it backwards. And beneath that, a very deep compartment as well. So before I pop open the rear door, the back 3 windows are tinted from factory. And this door, as soon as I open it, I can tell immediately how light this is compared to the front door. So plenty of space for 2 rear passengers. Unfortunately no third seat, although this would be perfect if it folds down to become an armrest. But this is where I have my seat for the driving position, and there is plenty of legroom, as you can tell. So there's quite a lot of space in the rear trunk. You also have that additional bracing from Honda as standard behind the rear passenger seats. And underneath this carpet, no spare wheel. Just the tools to change the wheels if you need to. And also the tool to adjust the firmness of the Koni dampers. So inside the engine bay of the FD2 Type R, we have a K20A engine. 2 litre 4-cylinder iVTEC. And this engine was borrowed from the Accord Euro R CL7. So a few minor changes have been done by Honda before installing it into this FD2 Type R. So it now pushes out about 222 brake horsepower as standard. But we also have a GRUP-M intake installed. So you have your usual air scoop, which meets the bonnet line, but there is also another hole here, and you can just about see the air filter inside. So apart from this modification, we also have a Toda Capac exhaust, as mentioned earlier, and a remap. So the power is now pushing just a little bit more, about 230 brake horsepower. But the engine itself, K20A, can be found in many Hondas nowadays. And this is super reliable, and it gives out decent power for what it is. So let's go for that all-important test drive. So FD2 Type R, K20, 230 brake horsepower. God, this pulls really hard in VTEC. The suspension is quite hard. I am bouncing about. Oh God, this is fun, but scary at the same time. Picks up a lot of speed really easily. Now the suspension with those Koni adjustable dampers is quite firm at the moment. I'm not too sure what setting it is, I haven't checked yet, but it holds the road really well. And when VTEC is on, you get that light above on the top left, so that's quite handy. And as you build up to the red line, you get those amber dots all the way to a red dot, so you know when to change gear. Now this revs easily to 9,000 RPM, and the power is just always there. We need to slow this down a bit. Now the response of the throttle, this is a drive-by-wire and it's very sensitive. Just a twitch of my foot and you can instantly feel the engine producing more power. Downshift is really nice and easy as well, but this handling is amazing. Helical LSD as standard. Steering wheel is quite heavy for a car of this size, and there's a lot of feedback coming back from the road. Loving this. The ride itself is pretty stiff. We're on those Koni adjustable dampers with the lowering springs, and it is quite hard. It's quite bumpy, but it holds onto the road well. The steering column is reach and height adjustable, so if I wanted to bring it closer just beneath the steering wheel, you can just undo the latch and you can pull the steering wheel towards you or push it away from you. I just wish Honda kept making these cars. I know that the K20A doesn't meet the regulations of nowadays, hence why they've gone turbo for the FK2, but this is known as the real last Type R made. You also got that lovely exhaust note as well with the induction sound from the GRUP-M. It's a great combination between the two. So the interior of this car, I do feel like I am quite far back from the front of the dash. I can barely touch I can't touch the bottom of the windscreen at all. And in front of the windscreen, we also have the bonnet and the bumper. So it just feels like at first I couldn't judge where the front of the car was. And also at the back of the car, we also have those rear doors and the rear trunk. So that was quite hard to judge as well. But after about half an hour to an hour of driving this car, I'm more or less used to it. So the chassis in this FD2 Type R, Honda says is about 50% more rigid than the DC5 Type R. Now that's truly amazing. They've also added the rear doors, so 2 extra rear doors with the electric motors and the glass, and this is only a couple of kilos heavier than the DC5 Type R. So that is some serious Honda engineering going on there. So as standard, we also have those 4-pot Brembo brakes. These are running genuine Honda discs and standard pads, so I'm not too sure if this is going to brake really well, but we'll give it a try. So bring it up to about 50 and hard on the brakes. I'm quite surprised by that. It actually stopped really nicely. Can do with better pads though, so I'll be looking into that. But this car is very spacious. I can see myself doing long journeys in this. This will replace the DC2 Integra Type R. That was just getting just a little bit too old now, and there's no aircon in there, so we do suffer in the summer months even though it's about to finish. Shifting through the short ratio gearbox in this car is really easy. Adjusting the armrest to where you want it, it feels a bit like the S2000. The armrest is directly in line with the gear shifter, and it's just so easy to get into gears. So 5th gear back down to 4th, back on the power, VTEC, down to 3rd, and again, you can hear it scream. It's a bit of a jump there. Wow, it gets my heart beating. I'm not joking there. So as I mentioned in the walk around, I said that these seats are very similar to the FN2 ones, except for the side bolsters. Well, they most certainly feel that way, and you do feel the difference with the bolsters. It's a shame that Honda got rid of Momo as one of their suppliers for the steering wheel and Recaro for their seats. I mean, okay, it still says Type R on it and it's built in-house and whatnot, but at the end of the day, having a Momo steering wheel and Recaro seats it just feels that much better. So I love the fact that Honda has changed from a hatchback to a 4-door sedan. So not only can you get the performance of a usual Type R, but you also get to carry some passengers with easier access. And this longer wheelbase definitely helps with the turning and the cornering abilities. It's longer, so high-speed cornering is definitely more stable. So the Civic Type R FD2 weighs in at 1,219 kilograms, 2,688 pounds. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and my new purchase of the FD2 Type R. This car is seriously crazy. It loves to rev, there's more power than the usual K20s, and the chassis itself is just amazing. So don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Take care, drive safely, and I'll see you guys soon. Hey guys, welcome to Performance Cars. So today I have another S2000 which is also in yellow, so very similar to my own one,